Hey romance writers, welcome back to Write with Heart. Today we're going to be talking about intimacy in sweet and spicy romance. Now, not that long ago, I did a video on chemistry, which is really about creating that snap, crackle, and pop that readers feel between characters. Intimacy is a little bit different. Intimacy is talking about the connections that bring our couple together. I'll go into more detail on intimacy and how it is needed in romance, whether you write spicy or sweet romance. Now, a lot of times, intimacy can be used as a euphemism for sex, but intimacy isn't just about that. Now, whether your book is steamy or sweet, intimacy lets the reader know that the couple has something very special with each other. So, what is intimacy specifically? Well, intimacy is really about that special connection between the members of your couple. But there are 6 types of it, which can offer some creative opportunities for writing when developing your romance and creating those special connections, bringing that couple together. Now, the first type of intimacy is an emotional intimacy. Now, emotional intimacy is not limited to romantic relationships, but in the romance novel, it shows the deep feelings of trust, respect, and love that bind our characters together. So it's definitely something they need to have by the end of the book. But a couple can have an emotional intimacy at the beginning of a book. For example, a friends to lovers type situation. But emotional intimacy is actually something that you are working for through your romance novel. You want to get to the end and have your couple feel safe to share their deepest desires, their secrets, their fears. They need to feel comfortable sharing their deepest selves with the other. Now, the second type of intimacy is intellectual intimacy. Now, in this sort of connection, your couple feels a level of comfort in sharing their opinions and ideas, even if they differ from their partners. And a lot of times we see in romance novels where there is a butting of the heads, but ultimately, or at least at some point through the novel, each of them begins to develop a respect for the other, even though it is a source of conflict. Now, in the romance novel, this level of intimacy would be shown by the characters feeling free to think for themselves and believe their opinions and beliefs are valued by the other, even if they are different. Now, the third type of intimacy is creative intimacy. Creative intimacy involves feeling comfortable in expressing passions and interests. Now, it's important to note that these passions or interests do not have to be shared necessarily between the couple, but each person in the couple needs to feel safe to express their creative side. Now, a fourth type of intimacy is experiential intimacy. Experiential intimacy is about the shared experience that connect people together. Now, in a romance novel, this shared experience can be created through a variety of ways, including working together, living with the other person, like a roommate, having shared memories. Anytime your characters are together, they are experiencing things, and that is creating an experiential connection between them. Now, the fifth type of intimacy would be spiritual intimacy. Now, this could include religious connections, for example, an inspirational romance, but it goes beyond that to include shared values and beliefs. Now, of course, we see this type of intimacy often in sweet romances, but it can be included in any type of romance. And of course, while we're talking about intimacy in terms of creating a connection, which suggests that they are in agreement with each other, having differing values or beliefs can create a conflict in romance as well. And our sixth type of intimacy is physical intimacy. Now, here you might think we're talking about explicit physical contact, and while that could be the case, physical intimacy isn't just about that. Holding hands, hugging, cuddling, basically any loving touch is a type of physical intimacy. It goes without saying that steamy romances are going to have a physical intimacy included in them, but sweet romance can too. And the real difference between the two is that a steamy is going to include sensuality and explicit content, whereas sweet romance focuses on the emotional connection of a touch, but it isn't sensual. So what is the big deal about intimacy? Well, like I mentioned before, it creates connection between your characters. But by using a variety of types of intimacy, you're able to increase the believability in your characters coming together. It's important to remember that sex isn't love, so they need to have other opportunities to connect and to bond and to come together as a loving couple. So by providing other opportunities for intimacy, either through shared experiences, through values and beliefs, or any of the other forms of intimacy that we've talked about today, you deepen the connection between the couple and you make it much more believable for the reader. And you also make it something that they actually feel. And of course, as we've talked about in other videos, romances are all about the feels. So that's it. That is a quick overview of the different types of intimacy that you can use in your romance. Now, if you'd like to read a text version of this video, you can do so at writewithheart.com, and I will include a link to that in the description below. I will also include the link to the video and the text for writing chemistry between your couple as well. At the time of this recording, it is mid-September 2023, and we are getting ready for our annual Preptober Write-Vember Challenge, where in October we prepare a romance novel idea, and in November we get it written. And we do it by offering daily emails of tips, ideas, support, and encouragement. We have a weekly call that does the same and a whole lot more. If you would like to join in, please do so. I will have a link in the description where you can sign up. And again, it is free. So if you are ready to write that romance, then I hope that you will join us. And also, with Halloween around the corner, I wanted to let you know about our Write with Heart Halloween grammar merch. We've got 2 mugs and a t-shirt that's all about the importance of good grammar and how punctuation can save lives. I will have a link to that in the description below as well. Now, all of this is hosted over at writewithheart.com, and while you're there, I hope that you'll consider joining our free online community for romance authors. You can create an author profile, access a growing library of tools and resources. You can have your own blog. You can join or start groups. We have weekly tips and industry news, weekly Zoom calls for support, and a whole lot more. Again, all you got to do is visit writewithheart.com. Thank you so much for watching today. I do hope that you found the information here helpful. Until next time, this is Jenna Harte wishing you peace, love, and happily ever after.